Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have another installment of 26-year-old man slash boy tries to hit $100,000 net worth. Now, I'll be honest with you guys before we start getting into this. I'm not very hopeful this month. I know I'm only $4,800 away, but sometimes life just gets expensive. Some of it's my fault. Some of it's, unforeseen things. And this month was one of those months where it was just a very expensive month. Now, obviously, I don't want to bore you guys, so I'm going to update all the numbers first. I made a decent amount of changes. And then once I'm done updating the numbers at the end, I'll tell you guys everything that happened this month. So let's just jump into it. Now, really quick, for those of you who are new to my channel or who have watched this before, if you do not know what your net worth is, very simply, all it is your assets subtracted by your liabilities. That is it. So, for example, in the green on the screen here, you can see that I have my assets in green. In the yellow, I have my liabilities. If you take the two, you add them up, and then you subtract the rest, you get your total net worth. So, let's get into it. Now, this video is going to begin like every other video, and we're going to start off with my Wells Fargo checking account. Now, in this account, as of this morning, I have $3,290.48 in this account. Next account is my Wells Fargo savings account, and this is where so far the biggest change has happened. In this account, I have $0. Now, I listened to you guys in the comments, and a lot of you guys had recommended to me, why keep money in your savings if you have a high yield savings account? Split it, put the rest in your checking, put the rest in your high yield savings. So that's actually kind of what I did. I pulled all the money out of my Wells Fargo savings account, and for this foreseeable future, I will not be using this as a savings account, and I'll try to put my money in better places. Now, going to my SoFi high yield savings, this is where you'll see the next change. In this account, I have $20,150. Now, pretty much with this account, I have decided I'm going to actually be smart. You can see I've trimmed it down about $5,000 since the start of the year. And if you guys saw my net worth videos a long time ago, you would know I used to have a lot more money than $25,000 in here. Now, with this account, this $20,150, there's two ways I'm using this account. $10,000 of this money is for a house. I want to be a homeowner in the next 2 to 3 years. If the finances make sense, if I find a place I want to live. So $10,000 of this $20,150 is for a house. The other $10,000 is for just emergencies, savings, and or deploying it into the stock market when I see fit. So yes, I know that's still a lot of cash to have on hand. For most people, it's too much cash, but I'm a very cash dependent person mentality. So the more cash I have, the more secure I feel with my finances. Even if it's limiting my growth, it's something I'm willing to do. If you don't agree, that's why we all have our own finances at the end of the day. You can do what you want, I can do what I want. So I like having a lot of cash. I'm splitting this, and if you ask where the 150 is coming from, what I decided to do is every paycheck I get, $50 from that paycheck will go into this account. That way I don't inflate it too much and it stays just very steady growth. So when I kind of trimmed this account down, I left $20,100 in there. So I got one paycheck recently, so $50 is now in there. Hopefully that makes sense. So enough of that. Next is the new 401k at my new job. This is still at $0. I called the bank that they use for the 401k, and they told me that I will start seeing withdrawals mid-April to early May, which kind of sucks, to be honest, because I want to get my 401k rolling, but it is what it is. Now, next is my Empower Retirement. This is from my old employer. This account took a big hit. Obviously, if you guys keep up with the stock market, you will know things are not looking too hot, and I have most of this money within the S&P 500, which has continued to go down. So obviously, that money has continued to go down. So I lost almost $3,000 in this account over a month. Obviously, this isn't losses. I'm not pulling this money out. This is just the money's gone down, but I don't plan to do anything with this money anytime soon. This is just going to sit and grow over time, so not too worried about it. Next is my Fidelity brokerage account. This is where I kind of have some metals like gold and silver. I have some smaller kind of ETFs, just random things I want to invest my money into. And in this account, I have $4,248.75 in this account. And then next is my Roth IRA, where I did actually max that out yesterday. So my Roth IRA for 2026 is maxed out, which is nice because it's only March. So now I can focus on building up my brokerage account. My Roth IRA pretty much is just VU, some QQQM, some individual stocks, but mostly in VU. And in this account right now, I have $189.57 in this account. So you can see I've contributed a decent amount, and believe it or not, my Roth IRA is down year to date. So hopefully when the stock market corrects and goes back up, this number will be a lot higher. Next is crypto. Crypto's been very sideways, very flat. Kind of took some big dips recently and then just kind of flattened out. Obviously, I do still believe in Bitcoin. I still invest in Bitcoin. $10 a day is my investment in Bitcoin. Once again, people are going to disagree. They're going to agree. At the end of the day, it's $10 a day. It grows over time. It is what it is. So in my crypto account right now, I have $10,967.85. So that is that. And lastly is my personal items. So in this account here, this is going to be what I value my vehicle at and other personal items. So this is another change that you would have seen if you watched my last net worth video. This I used to just call my vehicle or vehicle equity, which now I come to realize is actually not the right thing to call it. So this is the value of my vehicle, what I could sell it for, plus other things that I have. I'm still going to value this right at $13,500. I've watched other net worth videos and I've seen people, value their stuff at, they value like their camera equipment, they value their this, their that. So I figured I would just call this personal items, probably around $13,500. Next is my liabilities here, and this is all zeros. I don't have any credit card debt or financing services. So before we put the auto loan in here and get the final number, we can see that assets wise, I have dropped quite a bit, around $3,000. Most of that comes from obviously the stock market being down. You can't win them all. And as you guys have seen with the war, it's just the stock market's all over the place, and it's been down a lot. So that's what happens when you have your net worth tied up in investments, and the stock market goes down, your value of your net worth goes down. And it's kind of the game we all play, and it's just something that you have to, look past and not get emotional about. And, I could sit here and cry and say, oh my gosh, my net worth or my assets went down $5,000. But I don't plan to sell these anytime soon. I'm still buying into ETFs. I'm still buying in things I believe in that I see long-term growth out of, and I'm sticking to my plan. So this does not bother me. As much as it could bother me, it does not bother me. And that's why I tell all you guys, especially if you're young, during months like this and times like this where there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of people are selling and freaking out about the stock market, stick to your plan, do what you need to do, and just stay on an even course, because then, it's not going to bother you as much. Now, last is my auto loan here. Now, aside from my assets going down, I did make some pretty decent gains on my auto loan, and I paid off a decent amount this month. Obviously, having a new job now, making a little bit more money, I was able to be a little bit more aggressive towards my auto loan, and I paid this down right to $11,000 even. So we can see that to end March 2026, my total net worth here was $94,317.47. So even though, I went down, right? As I just mentioned, I stuck to my plan. I saved money, I invested money, and I paid down debt. And that's really all we can do, right? So let's go into my final thoughts here, right? That was updating all the numbers. So the guys and girls out there who just want to see my numbers get updated, there you go. For the people who want to stick around and hear my thoughts, this is kind of what I have to say about this month. So first things first, this month was just expensive in general. Truthfully, life gets expensive at some points in time, and you kind of just got to deal with it, right? First things first, I needed new glasses, and as you guys can tell, my eyes look big. It's because I have a very strong prescription. I'm farsighted, and my glasses, even with vision insurance, my glasses are very expensive. So I had to buy new glasses because I need to see properly. So that was a lot of money there. Then me and my girlfriend decided that we wanted another dog because we have a current dog and she's kind of by herself and hangs out. And we wanted to get a friend for her. So we got another dog. I can show you guys here. She's actually right here. So this is Brownie. This is our new dog. She's a toy poodle. So this is Brownie. Me and my girlfriend went half on her. And even though I'm trying to reach $100,000 net worth, I do not regret this purchase at all. She's a great dog. So that's Brownie. So that was some money. And then obviously we had to take her to the vet. We had to buy a bunch of supplies for her, which since my girlfriend went half with me on the dog, I decided I would, help my girlfriend out with the vet bill and stuff like that. So obviously that was a few $100s. And then rent. So just an FYI for you guys, obviously I'm new to renting. This is the first time I've ever lived on my own. And I didn't know that I had to put utilities in my name. So the apartment complex also never told me this. So I go to pay my rent, and my rent was almost $3,000 this month. And I'm like, why is my rent almost $3,000? So I look at the breakdown, and according to my apartment, they did not charge me electricity January and February. And because I never put the utilities for electricity in my name, the electricity company in Arizona billed the apartment complex. So the apartment complex billed me for January, February, and March electricity plus an individual fee for every single month. So as anyone would, I go to the apartment complex. I'm like, I need to fight that because my rent's almost $3,000. And lo and behold, the lady who we first did our whole thing with, who never told me any of this, she doesn't work here anymore. So there's some guy in there. I kind of tell him the situation. He's kind of like, there's nothing I can do to help you, right? He doesn't have proof that she didn't tell us. So rent this month was almost $3,000. So between, my glasses, the dog, the rent, very expensive month. But, once again, we spend money, right? Money comes in, money comes out. You got to stick to your plan. So while this month was super expensive, while yes, you could say the dog was an unnecessary purchase, even though I love her, you could say some of the other things I might have bought were unnecessary. At the end of the day, I saved money, I invested money, and I paid down debt. So I can't be too mad, right? The stock market has been on a big downturn recently. So obviously, once again, the more money you have invested, the more that's going to affect you. So all I can do is just try to stay the course and do what I need to do to grow my net worth. So while yes, technically I'm down this month with net worth, obviously at some point we can hope that the war and all that news kind of subsides, the stock market goes back up, and everything continues as normal. So kind of to wrap everything up here, if you're out there and you're tracking your net worth along with me and, this month wasn't too hot for you, just know that it wasn't too hot for a lot of people. And, like I said, I know I keep repeating it, but it's those three things I try to stick to. No matter what's going on in the stock market, no matter what's going on in my personal life, no matter what's going on with expenses that I can control, that I can't control, as long as I'm saving money, as long as I'm investing money, and as long as I'm paying down debt, I got to pat myself on the back. Because let's be honest, that's a lot more than probably 90% of America does. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I think that's it for this video. I appreciate you guys for watching. My last couple videos have been doing amazing, so I appreciate the support. Let me know where your guys' net worth is sitting right now. If this was a good month, if this was a bad month, if you've had any unforeseen expenses come up, because like I said, this month I have. We could look at the graph really quick. Not doing too bad. We're almost there. It's a long battle to 100K, but I've heard once you get past 100K, it all gets easier. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.